Good evening. Good evening, patrons. Patrons and patriots. Patriots. The patrons and patriots. Good evening. We back. We back. Like we never left before. Shout out to my everyday people who rock with me every day. Shout out to all of the new subscribers, old subscribers. Okay, we got a bunch of new subscribers and some old ones. We got some beautiful subscribers in here, and we got some ugly ones too. But as long as you're here with me, I rock with you. As long as you're here with me. Now we're finna get into it. We're finna get into a little bit of hypocrisy, biology, sociology, physiology, mythology. We're about to get into it all. Welcome to another lit Everyday People Live, where if you hear in the comment section, thank you. You lit, big dog. Y'all stay lit because we're gonna do something new tonight. Well, for y'all new folks, we're gonna do something new. I've been doing this, but tonight you can call in and tell us why you mad. Now we're gonna discuss some topics tonight. After we discuss the topics, then you can call in and get it off your chest. Tell us how you feel. This is your time to open up to the everyday people. You can open up. You can give your graces. You can say your piece. You know? We them boys. We was them boys. Alright, let me go ahead and get started because as we already know. As the Dallas Cowboys have been facing trades with Michael Parsons and some unnamed free agents and random ass picks from Green Bay, who's probably going to be one of the top teams in the league. We probably won't get no good picks. First round picks next year. What are we doing? Jerry Jones has teed me off once again. He not only does my team suck and we haven't won a playoff game since the damn 1997. 1997, Jerry. We haven't won a playoff game. But Jerry decides to take this whole thing political. Now, yeah, we America's team. We still I don't even know why we're saying we. I don't be on that field. I'm finna stop taking credit for being a loser. I'm not taking the credit for being a loser. Okay? Yes, I support the Dallas Cowboys up until today. I'm never buying another Dallas Cowboys ticket as long as they keep these shenanigans up. Okay, let's get into the shenanigans. This is Cowboys tribute to Charlie Kirk. We don't even celebrate like that when we get a touchdown. Matter of fact, because we can't get a touchdown, we got to settle for field goals to win the game. How about that, Jerry? How about we get a touchdown before you start celebrating somebody else? Because we can't even celebrate in the end zone. We can't even celebrate in the end zone. I don't believe this. Do y'all see this? As a Dallas Cowboys fan, I am distraught. I just want to tell Jerry, shut up and manage. Shut up and dribble, Jerry, because this ain't it. We trading off our best defensive end for God knows who. For God knows who. But this is what y'all want to do. We haven't even got to the real controversy yet. But as a Dallas Cowboys fan, I think we should be focused on something more like winning. Winning. We should be focused on something way better than this. Okay?
So let's talk about what just went down in the NFL. 5 teams, the Lions, Colts, Bengals, Ravens, and Vikings, made the decision not to hold a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk. And honestly, that move says a lot. Because here's the contradiction. This same league once told us football had no place for politics. They told us to keep politics out of the game when Colin Kaepernick took a knee to highlight injustice. They said it disrespected the flag, disrespected the military, and yet here they are making space for silence, grief, and recognition when it comes to someone like Charlie Kirk. Now, let's not forget what Charlie Kirk said about black athletes. He openly questioned their presence in the NFL and NBA, but conveniently skipped over the fact that ownership in the league is overwhelmingly white. He called out the players, but never the power structure. So when black players speak up about their reality, they get silenced, fined, and blackballed. But when it comes to Charlie Kirk, suddenly the field is supposed to turn into a place of honor and remembrance. That's what you call conservative contradictions. One standard for us, another for them. So let's talk about what just went down.
Point, Simone Biles. You're representing your nation, you're selfish sociopath. I just said she's probably the greatest gymnast of all time. She's also very selfish, she's immature, and she is a shame to the country.
LeBron James is a self-interested, narcissistic, and we know he's not very smart. LeBron James chronically cheats on his wife, obviously. He's an NBA player.
Because of DEI, it begs the question when you see a black pilot, you wonder, you say, I hope they are qualified. If I'm dealing with somebody in customer service who's a moronic black woman, I wonder, is she there because of her excellence, or is she there because of affirmative action? It almost creates thought patterns that are not necessarily wholesome. Black America was getting richer, they were getting stronger, and families were largely still put together before the Great Society, Voting Rights Act, and Civil Rights Act. 60.
I gotta stop him right there. the Civil Rights Act that just did it right there. We gotta talk about this. But anyway, let's talk about this. LeBron James never cheated on his wife. What is y'all talking about? Drake is a liar. Drake is a liar. He never took LeBron James to sleep with no whoremongers. Just foolish nonsense. Anyway, just to think, because how does he know? Was he there? This is what I be saying about Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk just be rage bait. I told y'all this. This is just a bunch of cynical nonsense. But everybody can say, "Oh, he makes a valid point. He makes a valid point." Man, that dude takes a spit wad and he spits as much as he can on it, and he gonna keep spitting, and he throws it at the wall, hoping it'll stick. If it don't stick, he'll get some more. How you gonna say Simone Biles? Are we talking about Simone Biles? Y'all know Simone Biles is one of the single greatest athletes in her sport ever. And I'm gonna replay this last point, and then I'm gonna make a point about this, because everybody says, "Oh, he's telling the truth about civil rights, and black people were so much better before civil rights." So let me play this right quick. Play this real quick before we go further.
Families were largely still put together before the Great Society, Voting Rights Act, and Civil Rights Act. 60 years later, black America is in a worse position.
I don't know if y'all noticed this, but Charlie Kirk is white. How does he know how we in a greater position? Because I'm going to tell you how he know. Because Charlie Kirk, the people who once, let's just go back to Black Wall Street. Thriving community, right? Black people were at the top of their game. Like, I mean, black doctors, black lawyers, black post office, black store owners, blackity black. And guess what? Guess what happened? Oh, y'all wouldn't believe this, but Charlie Kirk said we was doing better back then, right? And then what happened? Well, just go check your history books. If it's still in your history books, just go check it. If it's still there. I don't know. They trying to take all that stuff out the history books. So, before that, yeah, black people were thriving. Then that happened. I'm not going to tell y'all what happened. If you don't know what happened, just check out Black Wall Street and you'll kind of figure it out. So, yeah, black people were thriving then. But every time black people thrive, you got somebody come and throw a temper tantrum and start knocking stuff down like your little big brother. Are we on the same page? So I don't like that analogy. Oh, black people were better before civil rights, before this. Let's be real. Let's not. Y'all gotta be real with yourself. I'm not taking small clips. This is what he's saying. Whether you get the small clip or the long clip, the man said black people were doing better before the civil rights. You know what if you want the long version of this, then he'll say, well, now they're using civil rights for this and using civil rights for that. That's moving the goalposts. You're moving the goalposts. You can't say black people was doing better before civil rights and then say, but it's only till this time where this is happening. And this is no. Let's stop that. And when I hear stuff like this is why I say, your intent matters, words matter. So when people say make America great again, and then you got somebody pushing Charlie Kirk who's saying, let's make it 1965 again, where black people were thriving. Yes, black people were thriving in certain communities. And then Black Wall Street. Do you get what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not trying to push I'm not trying to push an agenda. All I'm saying is this is what happened. This is the truth. If y'all don't understand it, maybe they didn't teach y'all this in history. And guess what? They're trying to erase it from the history books. But that's neither here nor there. I just wanted to show y'all that. I want to point that out. So it's kind of crazy that we continuously are going back and forth over this. Yeah, just showing clips. I got more clips. Let's get into it.
I'm not saying it's because of the Civil Rights Act. I'm not saying it's because of the Voting Rights Act, but somewhere something went awry. I can name at least a dozen people more deserving in the 20th century of a federal holiday than MLK. The reason we talk about race so much is because we have a federal holiday to a guy that talked about race all the time. We celebrate the Civil Rights Act more than the American founding. Point, Simone Biles, you're representing.
They are actually trying to give this man a holiday, October 14th. My people, are y'all listening? Listen, man. No joke, but it writes itself. They trying to get this man October 14th, his own day. But what does he always talk about? Race. He's not a black person. He don't even talk to black people about this stuff.
Chronic black woman. I don't. We're getting stronger.
When I say he don't talk to black people about these issues, this is not the person who I'm talking about. What's his name? Jason Whitlock is not our black representative. I don't know who made this man a representative of us, but bro, it's not the person to talk about when it comes to black issues. He's one of y'all. Do they think it should be a national holiday for Charlie Kirk? That's a good question. I haven't said one lot. Let's get to the rest of it.
Hey everybody, turns out Simone Biles just exposed herself as a massive fraud. You see, as trans people continue to dominate in women's sports, this weekend, Simone attacked Riley Gaines for pointing out glaring facts about a certain pitcher on a women's softball team who just won a state championship. Simone acts as if she's a defender of trans athletes, but the internet did its thing from a little while ago and found an old tweet from Simone back when she was a more honest person. See, in 2017, she tweeted, quote, "Good thing guys don't compete against girls or he'd take all the gold medals." Looks like sad Simone actually does understand the problem. Now, look, this is very important, but has she sold herself out to the woke left? Why is she doing this exactly? Everybody knows Riley Gaines is right, and we stand with Riley in everything that she's doing. Hey, Simone, how about this? How about you go and try and compete in men's gymnastics and tell us how that works out? Oh, wait, that's right. You know exactly how that would happen. If there wasn't a separation between...
Can I be honest? Simone Biles will wash men in gymnastics. She will absolutely wash men in gymnastics. But gymnastics is skill. We're not talking about brute strength and violence. Like, we talking about football, or we talking about basketball. I remember back in like 8th grade, 7th grade, we had this girl named Hope that played on our baseball team. Hope was a beast. Hope played with the guys. Hope could hit better than half the team, more than half the team. I mean, if you got it, you got it. It's regardless. But in gymnastics, Simone Biles could definitely beat some men in gymnastics. No, there's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. I don't see how y'all could think that she wouldn't. Serena Williams could probably beat over 90% of the men in tennis. 90%. There's a good 10% that she can't beat, like the greatest. There are some greats that she just couldn't compete with. Let's be honest. But if we was talking about boxing, we talking about basketball, football. There's some women in soccer. There are women in soccer that definitely could compete with men in soccer. Because it's athletics. You're running, you're kicking the ball, you're using your IQ. Now, if you get hit by a man in soccer, I'm not saying that you gonna get up the same. I'm just saying they got footwork. So that there's sports. Come on, y'all gotta think about it. There are sports that women can compete in men in sports. Now, if you lower the goal to 9 feet, I bet you some women out there that'll get down on some dudes. I'm just saying 9 feet, but I don't know if, when you talk about the NBA, WNBA, NBA, we ain't even finna discuss that. Soccer was shown on pros lost. It was in the NBA. In the USA team. The USA team was losing to college players. What are we talking about? Y'all can't prove me wrong. Y'all just it was one team. It was one person. We talk about it as a whole. We talking about it as a whole. Am I being woke? I said a woman could compete. Y'all mad because a woman? I bet you a woman could beat you running. Every one of you. I know there's a woman out there that can beat you running. Be like, but I'm stronger than her. Okay, whatever. Fact of the matter is, Charlie Kirk, who probably can't hit a wiffle ball, is telling Simone Biles that she's worthless. Y'all tripping. Y'all tripping. Let somebody come into your job and tell you that you the best hamburger flipper. You ain't the best hamburger flipper. A woman can flip a hamburger better than you. Yes, I'm talking to y'all. A woman can flip a hamburger better than y'all. Y'all gonna be like, a woman can't flip a hamburger better than me. I'm the best. This week I'm on lettuce. Next week I'm on the fries. And if I keep it up in 2 months, I'll be a manager looking ass. Goof ass boys.
Is the biggest thing that you think has caused the most controversy that you're like, this? Like, why this?
For him, can I guess what it is?
Sure.
When you called Simone Biles, what did you call her?
Sociopathic.
When you called Simone Biles a sociopath.
Yes. I was never given ample opportunity to explain it, but I totally stand by it.
Yeah, well.
Is the biggest thing that you think...
Wait. He was never given the opportunity to explain it, but he stands by it? That sounds like rage bait. This guy has no real facts. He might say something that makes sense. But when it comes to making solutions, he has none. We've been on this 3-4 days. 4 days. Not one solution to any problem in a black community, a white community, in America, in the South, in the Northeast, in Middle America. He hasn't came up with one solution yet. This all we talk about with Charlie Kirk is how he feels about black women, how he feels about black communities, how he feels about sports. We don't have one freaking solution. I want y'all to remember this as I'm telling y'all this. Aurora Lake is a woman, and she was a first firefighter in her department. Okay. And y'all telling me she can't be just as great? Y'all telling me she can't be just as great? Like, what are we talking about? She's a woman, for Christ's sake. These women, they push out babies. Some of you men couldn't even take that. You little wusses. You'll cry to your mama. Mama, please take that. Please have the baby for me. I can't do it. Weenies. But everybody swear every man is just this. I'm better than everybody else.
So Simone Biles, who's obviously a very talented gymnast, decided not to compete in the gold medal competition. Now, she probably could have just competed and just kind of checked the boxes and they would have got a gold medal.
Check the boxes. Y'all know we say mental health is one of the top hustles in America right now, mental health. And this is the time Simone Biles was going through a mental health crisis within herself, because she is expected to be the best in the world. And she is going through something within herself that she is unable to compete. But because Charlie Kirk says all she need to do is check the boxes, you don't need to worry about yourself. You're being selfish. That's kind of crazy, right? I think at the end of the day, if she decides that mentally she's not there, she'll do more hurt for the team than she can help them. And her standing down and letting one of her teammates take the lead, letting her teammate, hey, I trust you. You're my teammate. I trust you. You take the lead. I can't do this right now. My mental is not there. And I believe in you and I have faith in you. And you know what she did? She did that. And they gave their all. They didn't win. But doesn't matter. Because Mr. Charlie said she was being selfish. She was being selfish. She's a sociopath. She could have just checked the boxes. She should have just shut up and flipped. That's what he's saying, basically. Shut up and flip. Don't matter about your well-being. But this is a man. These are the men y'all need to have on the T-app. Y'all need to have men like this on the T-app. Okay?
Simone Biles says, this Olympic Games, I wanted to be for myself when I came in, and I felt like I was still doing it for other people, as she cried after the team event on Tuesday. So it like hurts my heart, because doing what I love has been kind of taken away from me to please other people. Yeah, that's the point, Simone Biles. You're representing your nation, you're selfish sociopath. You kidding me?
Y'all wanted full context, right? Y'all wanted full context. I'm just saying. Full context. I told y'all before I even knew what happened, before I even knew what he was going to say, I knew what exactly happened in this Olympic Games. But we got to have more empathy for people, right? Let's have more empathy for people who are going through mental health struggles. That's what we need. Because guess what happened 4 years later? 4 years later, Simone Biles got her life together. Her and her strong black king. Okay, we're not going to forget him. He is the prize. Her strong black king. She came back and dominated the Olympics. She came back and dominated the Olympics. But, hey, I don't know nothing. I'm just here giving y'all clips.
Man, JD Vance must be a Bengals fan. That has to be hard.
What NFL team do you hate the most?
Oh, Vikings. Easily.
Dallas Cowboys.
Oh yeah, you know what?
Not
There's
even close.
Cowboys are so easy to hate.
It's not even close.
Why is every Cowboys fan like a 5'6" Mexican with long jean shorts?
No, man, JD Vance.
And to think, my Dallas Cowboys, let this man talk about us. I'm not buying another Dallas Cowboy. Actually, I'm going to the game Sunday, but that's because I already bought the tickets. But after that, I'm not going. After that game, I'm not going. Okay, y'all got my word. I'm not going to support another NFL game because this is what they do. I'm not supporting another NFL game. No, we're not going to lose. Dallas Cowboys, we do not lose. As long as we got a 60-yard field goal kicker, I doubt we get anywhere past the 40. As long as he can kick field goals from 60 yards out, I think we'll win. You know what I'm saying? That's just a fact.
5 NFL teams chose to not honor Charlie Kirk with a moment of silence. Shout out to the Lions, the Colts, the Bengals, the Ravens, and the Vikings. And I find this very hypocritical in 4K because
I told y'all last night he was a Chicago Cubs fan. None of y'all believe me. You like, oh, he like that, he like that. There you go. There go your proof. So all you Chicago fans, y'all hold this one. I got some more stuff to tell y'all about. Just hold on. We're going to get there.
the same individuals in the same place that said that football has no place for politics has a place to have a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk. What did he say about black people specifically in the NFL and NBA? Didn't he try to sensationalize how the black participation in the NFL was high, but he did not want to talk about the high white ownership of the game. Now, the same individuals that's rooting Charlie Kirk on wanting Colin Kaepernick to be thrown out of the game because he brought politics into the game, as well as disrespected the military. At the same time, they clicked up what the same Confederate flag told us. They fought against the military while trying to say that the football has a place for a moment of silence for this man right here. At the same time, saying when a black person talk about their political reality and how they're positioned within American politics, when it come to him, your ass deserve to be fired. You say.
So y'all, 5 NFL teams
He was just
decided
talking.
not to take a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk.
I see, like, man, nobody really did their damn homework. They just regurgitating the same shit over and over and over again. If I hear 5 NFL teams decided to take a knee, because can we? I be loving my people sometimes, but I be like, man, y'all just be saying shit. Y'all don't know nobody do the research. Everybody just be saying shit.
In his assassination. But I'm trying to figure out, why do they have to take a moment of silence? This man was a political activist that died. People die every single day. Every single day people die. Does the NFL stop what they're doing and take a moment of silence for anybody? When Colin Kaepernick took a knee for civil rights, black rights, for the rights of equality for all people, they blackballed that man. Like, that man can't play in the league right now because of these reasons. But y'all want people to take a moment of silence for a person that was spreading hate. It don't matter how y'all want to say it, that man was spreading that. The same day that this man died, the same day that he was assassinated, a school in Colorado was shut up. This man said for the Second Amendment, there has to be casualties. He didn't give a fuck about nobody dying or kids dying when they asked him those questions. They didn't take a moment of silence for them. They didn't take a moment of silence for those kids. Nobody's even talking about the Colorado shooting because Charlie Kirk's assassination took over all mainstream media. That's not fair. It's not right. Was it a tragedy? Was it sad what happened to this man? Yes, but people die every single day. And ain't no moment of silence, no knees drop down, none of that. senator. He was not nobody, you know what I'm saying? He was just a political activist that was spreading his opinion. So why do I have to take a silence for? Why do I have to take a... I don't need to. He was not anybody that a person has to do that for. Oh, don't speak on this. Why not? He was speaking on things I don't understand. Like, this is how you know that shit has never been equal, bruh. And for people to just come out and say, oh, it is and it ain't, and it's not about... Yes, the fuck it is about race. Because everything at the end of the day comes down to the color of your skin. That's what it comes down to. And that's it. Y'all know what to do.
Do y'all agree with that statement, or what do y'all say? I totally agree with him. I actually agree with him. And here it is. Again, more hateful men being hateful towards women. I think one, you know what, some of y'all need to check y'all's. I wanna ask, do y'all love y'all mothers the way y'all talk about women? The way y'all talk about women is kind of disturbing. I mean, y'all say the wildest stuff about women. But that's neither here nor... That's a whole nother conversation we're gonna have to have with y'all, okay? I'm gonna give y'all a chance to come out the closet. Don't even trip.
So over half the teams in the NFL held a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk. But isn't this the same NFL? Aren't these the same maggots? Isn't this the same Donald Trump who said there's no place for politics in sports? Basically just shut up and dribble. We don't want to hear about your politics. We came to watch the game. These are the same people that went so hard and got people like Colin Kaepernick kicked out of the NFL. The man couldn't get a job. He played in the Super Bowl and couldn't get a job after he took a knee for police brutality because he was dishonoring the flag. There's no place for politics in the NFL. But these NFL teams are going to hold a moment of silence. They did hold a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk. He wasn't even a politician. He wasn't elected. He wasn't a congressman. He wasn't anything. He held no political position. He was just a talking head who went around to college campuses. I don't understand this double standard that Trump and his maggot faithful have. They cannot wrap their heads around the fact that they kicked a man out for kneeling during the national anthem to protest police brutality. They got him kicked out of the league, and probably others. They sure as hell probably gave him death threats. The National Football League, half the teams are recognizing this man with a moment of silence. Make it make sense. So over half the teams...
8 NFL teams held a moment of silence today for Charlie Kirk. The Cowboys, the Chiefs, the Jets, the Dolphins, the Titans, the Saints, and the Cardinals. They held a moment of silence for a fucking podcaster.
Over the weekend, NFL teams in Dallas, Miami, New Orleans, New York, and Pittsburgh all held moments of silence for conservative commentator Charlie Kirk. And you can almost hear the record scratch whenever you remember how the league treated Colin Kaepernick. Now picture this. Stadiums dimmed the lights, fans stood up, players took off their helmets. The message? Honor and respect for this man known for his outspoken and politically divisive stances. No one booed, no one threatened to turn off the TVs, and broadcasters called it a moving show of unity. Now, rewind a few years, and Colin Kaepernick quietly takes a knee during the anthem to protest racial injustice and police brutality, literally asking for a moment of silence for those who had been murdered in the streets. And the NFL says it's too political. Owners blacklist him, and fans flood social media with outrage. So when the league pauses to honor Charlie Kirk, a man who has built his career on political division and hatred, it's okay. But when a black man kneels to call for justice, that's crossing the line. The double standard isn't subtle. It's on the 2-yard line, ready for a touchdown. Moments of silence aren't neutral. They reveal what a community values. If honoring a partisan pundit while a peaceful protest gets punishment, maybe it's time to ask what kind of unity the NFL really stands for.
If you've been on social media over the past week, you've probably seen some pretty shocking reactions to a public figure getting assassinated. There was celebration, there was mockery. Honestly, I found a lot of it so disturbing, I almost went back to Threads. I mean, I didn't. Nothing could make me go back to Threads, but I did think about it. And as expected, when people are being this shitty on the internet,
she gonna get fired next.
On social media, people who've criticized Kirk are being called out. Their names and photos widely circulated.
Some people who celebrated his death are now under scrutiny from conservative activists. Those activists have created online websites to hold accountable those behind the messages. The website claims it's received more than 63,000 submissions so far.
Some employers already firing or suspending people for their posts about Kirk, impacting teachers, commercial pilots, doctors, and even NFL staff.
Even the NFL staff are getting fired? Oh, that's why the Giants suck. If you've been on social media over the past week...
Charlie Kirk was shot, and he passed. That is a horrible, despicable act that should never take place. But what has really irked me is the whitewashing of who this man was. And sports is playing a key role. Thursday Night Football, a nationally televised game. The National Football League and Green Bay Packers held a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk on 9/11. The broadcast did not show a moment of silence to commemorate all the Americans who passed during 9/11. But now we are in this space where Donald Trump is attending New York Yankees games, talking about Charlie Kirk. The Packers are falling in line. The National Football League is falling in line. So let's just make sure and remind them of what they are doing and who they are honoring, if we can. He hated the Civil Rights Act and called it a mistake. He said it's been turned into an anti-white weapon. He said on Jubilee, black folks were better off in the 1940s and as slaves. And even when the Triple K and Jim Crow laws dominated their lives, he called Martin Luther King awful, said, and I quote, "If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified." Called Juneteenth a racial complaining day. Quote, "Blacks," which is a term I do not use, "are far more likely to commit crimes than any other group." He called systemic racism, quote, "rubbish." Said systemic racism is not real. Called George Floyd, quote, "a scumbag," and that he died from a drug overdose. That is not true. He blamed a black fire chief in Austin, Texas for flooding deaths that occurred a 3-hour drive away from that town. He praised Kyle Rittenhouse, quote, "You're a hero to millions. It's an honor to be able to have you." He viewed women as second class. His group, Turning Point USA, viewed immigrants as an existential threat to white Christian America. He espoused Great Replacement theory, which is a white supremacist conspiracy theory that white people are being replaced by immigrants. He called for doxing professors he disagreed with. Some even had to move from their homes because of it. He called for public of people, said it should be broadcasted live on television. When Zoran Mamdani won the primary, he said, and I quote, 24 years ago, a group of Muslims killed 2,753 people on 9/11. Now a Muslim socialist is on pace to run NYC. On Islam, he said, and I quote, "The sword the left is using to slit the you-know-what of America." He assailed affirmative action picks, as he put it, Joanne Reed, Michelle Obama, Ketanji Brown Jackson, and Rep. Sheila Jackson Lee. Kirk said, and I quote,
"Honestly, I can't even hear no more of what he said. We know it. Y'all get the message. So let's go on to the next one."
Holy shit.
Candace Owens was dropping bombs tonight on her most recent episode, Why Are They Lying About Charlie Kirk, revealing that Bill Ackman, one of Charlie's biggest donors, gave the FBI $1 million for a reward to whoever identified the shooter, and now that money is going to the alleged shooter's dad. Watch this.
It's not clear to me is that the story that we were told was that Tyler Robinson allegedly, after speaking with the pastor, his dad turned him in, Bill Ackman, probably $1 million, right? Thanks, Bill. You really cared about Charlie. And that money is now going to the father of this child who, after prayer and speaking to a pastor, they're saying, okay, well, then, he turned himself in. That we were told he turned himself in. Now we're being told that actually he hasn't confessed. So I'm just wondering, how do you turn yourself in without confessing? Because if I say my kid did it, that's enough for an arrest?
Mike Robinson was being called the father of justice, and we were told that he was involved in law enforcement. But now we know that's actually not true at all. In fact, Matt Robinson operates a family-owned construction company. The Washington County Sheriff's Office even had to issue a statement to clarify, saying Deputy Matt Robinson is not connected or related to the individual apprehended last night. But of course, the media wanted you to think that he was. Now, Candace Owens made many other claims about Bill Ackman on this episode, and he has taken to Twitter to vehemently deny all of them. But he hasn't denied this. I mean, it's totally normal, right, for just a good dad to turn in his son and then get $1 million.
So let me get this straight. Bill Ackman gave the FBI $1 million to whoever turns in the pew-pewer. The father is the one that turned in the pew-pewer. Now he's going to receive $1 million for turning in his son, yet his son has not confessed, nor is he cooperating. So the only thing the FBI have is what his father said.
Oh, this is good. In honor of Charlie Kirk. This was probably one of the greatest things that I seen on Sunday last week. In honor of Charlie Kirk. I mean, we're not glorifying his passing, but the significance of this field goal, right? Harrison Butker misses one far right in honor of the late Charlie Kirk.
50 plus, 60 plus field goals are just insane right now. Here's Butker from 58. This is up and it's pushed wide right and no good.
That kick went far right in honor of Charlie Kirk. But anyway, mind you, the Kansas City Chiefs lost. How disrespectful can y'all get, bro?
All right, here we go again. The NFL has now held a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk, observing it before last night's Commanders-Packers game at Lambeau Field. According to The Athletic, the PA announcer read, "The National Football League asks that you please join us in a moment of silent reflection following the murder of Charlie Kirk. The NFL condemns all violence in our communities. It will take all of us to stop hate. Thank you." At risk of being the moment of silence police, I'll just say this. It's not a great sign that massive brands like the Yankees and National Football League, whose fans span the political spectrum, feel comfortable memorializing an extremely partisan individual like Charlie Kirk. The sad irony in the NFL's case is that they're condemning violence by lionizing a figure who believed gun deaths were an acceptable cost of preserving the Second Amendment.
Okay, we heard some of the same jargon all through this message. I just want to point out this one part of this message. Let's hear it.
Again, the NFL has now held a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk, observing it before last night's Commanders-Packers game at Lambeau Field. According to The Athletic, the PA announcer read, "The National Football League asks that you please join us in a moment of silent reflection following the murder of Charlie Kirk. The NFL condemns all violence in our communities. It will take all of us to stop hate. Thank you."
It will take all of us to stop hate. So that means myself, you guys in the chat, okay? Can y'all for one night stop the hate? I'm pretty sure y'all can't. Y'all got free speech over here, okay? Whatever you say in the comment section, you will not be held accountable for. So, but don't think you're just gonna be saying anything. Don't be getting y'all calm down to racism. Like, come on, man. Like, you don't have to call people out of their names, but y'all decide to anyway. But in the midst of this, we should all be coming together, right? Let's come together. Let's talk about this, okay? One of Charlie Kirk's biggest things was in the black community, fatherless homes. Can anyone offer me a suggestion of how we can alleviate the situation where fathers are taken out of homes, where fathers are missing from homes, or kids are not being supported, or men are not finding jobs, or men are unable to get the rights to be a father upon birth. Like if a man, if man and woman have a baby, the man and woman break up before the baby, after the baby, whenever the baby is kept, the woman automatically gets all the rights, right? Okay. Whereas the man have rights, man don't have rights. So in order for a father to be in the home or to be present in a child's life, man needs to have rights. So let's start there. That's my suggestion. Have any of you came up with a suggestion for anything that Charlie Kirk has said? Not one of you. But y'all said plenty of derogatory things about who, what, when, why, and where. But no solutions. And that's where I'm getting to. Everybody got a damn opinion. But nobody got a damn solution. So we about to open up this phone line because I want to hear if you ain't got a solution, shut the fuck up. Don't even call. Don't even call. If you don't got a solution, but I'm going to let you tell us why you mad. Please keep your calls to 2 minutes. And I'm going to time you. If you keep rambling on, I'm going to just cut you off. And please do not cuss. Please show honor and respect to the platform, because if you want to call in, I give you 2 minutes, okay? This is not I'm not hell bent on opening up my platform to hear other voices. But please be respectful to the host and to the other guest, okay? Can y'all do that? I don't want no weirdos calling. If you're gonna be a weirdo, just don't be a weirdo. That's all I gotta say. Like, grow the fuck up if you're gonna call, okay? Just grow up and please be respectful, because I plan on doing this often, but I wanna speak to I want somebody with some dignity and some respect to call in. If you don't have nothing nice to say, don't call in. But if you have something, but you don't have to agree with me, but we will respect each other. I'm gonna respect you, you gonna respect me, and that's a fact, okay? And I'm gonna just say that now. As I set up, we're gonna listen to this next clip.
I haven't seen a New Orleans Saints fans really riled up in a very long time. But yesterday, during that memorial for Charlie Kirk, they booed the entire time. Now, I'm not going to say Charlie Kirk was perfect. And I'm not going to say we as humans are perfect. He ain't need to die. But the boo was warranted. Because I'd be damned if I studied my entire life to become a pilot, and he say, I don't think that man qualified just because he got brown skin. Get the fuck out of here. I haven't seen a New Orleans Saints fans really riled up in a very long time. But yesterday, during that memorial for Charlie Kirk, they booed the entire time. Now, I'm not going to say Charlie Kirk was perfect. And I'm not going to say we as humans are perfect. He ain't need to die. But the boo was warranted. Because I'd be damned if I studied my entire life to become a pilot, and he say, I don't think that man qualified just because he got brown skin. Get the fuck out of here. I haven't seen a New Orleans Saints fans really riled up in a very...
We have the Dallas Cowboys, the New York Jets, Miami Dolphins, the Tennessee Titans, New Orleans Saints, Pittsburgh Steelers, and Arizona Cardinals. These are some of the teams that wasted everybody's time before their game to have a moment of silence for 31-year-old Charlie Kirk, who was recently assassinated while giving a speech at a school in Utah. Now, Charlie Kirk is being called a lot of things, but the one thing that makes me giggle the hardest is a megastar, MAGA influencer. And why?
They're playing a whole ass tribute to Charlie Kirk.
What it do, man? This is Everyday PJ, man. Tell us why you're mad.
I'm not mad. I respect everything you're saying. You seem like an extremely moral and intelligent gentleman.
Thank you.
I was kind of wondering, Yeah, no problem, man to man. Just kind of wondering what your perspective is on why you think everybody is mad. Why all the hate? It's like left, right. Why can't we just get along? It's like First Amendment was made so that we can all state our viewpoints and have the freedom to do so without being collected by the government and, disposed of, because that's what happens everywhere else. It's why our Constitution was written.
Very good question. Don, man, listen, if I can call you Don or Donald, however you want. All right. I think that
I go by Donald like the duck. Nobody else is gonna rule my name. There's a lot of hate for the D out there.
Hey, so shout out to you, Donald. All right, Donald, let me just tell you, man. The reason why people are mad is because everyone wants a voice and wants to be heard. And a lot of people don't want to listen to the others, to anyone else other than themselves. And I think if we sat back and listened to each other, then, but not only just listen to each other, come to an agreement. You might not agree with everything I say, but we have to come to a mutual understanding. It's all about understanding. There's give and take with everything. Let's just say this. Okay. There's bills that are being passed right now today that it might say, okay, it's a domestic violence bill, right? It'll be a domestic violence bill. But then in order for it to pass, some lawmakers might want to say, well, we need to throw this in, or you need to give us this. So let's give us these gun laws, give us these gun law passes inside of this bill so that we can all agree to disagree. And that's how that agreement works. And we not knowing, so everybody like, oh, they passing a bill for domestic violence. Everybody, they riled up on that because that was the big thing, but we don't know underneath that bill is some far left or far right bill in there for that passes some type of gun law. And then when somebody gets caught up, like, I didn't know about that. So it's really about people not really understanding and not wanting to compromise.
It's like Measure 114 in Oregon, the gun law that had underlying stipulations and rulings that people didn't understand what it was, so they tried to pass it. And then later, the LGBT plus community was like, oh, hell no. Like, you want to give police the option to decline minorities from being able to have a gun license to purchase a gun when they already statistically, according to them, say that they're discriminated against by law enforcement in general. So they might not be able to purchase or get a license to purchase a firearm because somebody declined that constitutional right. Right?
Yep.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, that's exactly the point that you were saying. It's like, seems like nobody understands that. You just look at the political climate for the past, even probably 60 or 70 years. It's like they're all just pitting the peons, which is me and you, respectively, against each other to make them fight about things to, practice some level of cognitive dissonance about what's actually occurring under the scenes. I was an Uber driver, and I once gave a ride to somebody who's a Alaskan conservationist, and he was like, they all just play golf together and laugh and have a good time and joke about how they're working us against each other. You can take that as it is and be like, yeah, that's BS or whatever. That's just some conspiracy theory. It was the word of somebody who's a conservationist a random getting into my vehicle. There's no reason for this individual to lie.
He's telling the truth. He's telling the
No,
truth.
yeah, I personally feel that he is, but I mean, you know, my word, your word against what we believe versus everybody else, and they're like, oh, well, just everything's a conspiracy theory. No, that's the left trying to spin it this way, and that's the right trying to spin it that way.
Listen,
it seems
man,
so simple, but people.
Everybody's gonna spin it the way they can. Like just like how we said the clips of the Charlie Kirk speeches. We can spin them however we may, right?
Yeah, I don't have anything against Charlie Kirk. I mean, the people that are saying he deserved to die and they're dancing on his grave and all this other, just how despicable can you be to say they're comparing this guy to Hitler? I mean, my grandma, my Oma, she grew up in Nazi Germany. She wasn't a Nazi. And she hid in the basement for fucking 10 years, man. So she saw exactly what was happening. This person was not even remotely comparable to Hitler. I mean, in any way, shape, or form. And I have a coworker I spoke to this about. And it's only relevant to mention this because of the side that he's on. He is gay, has a husband, and so he's a part of the LGBT plus community. And he immediately dismissed everything law enforcement said in regards to the texts that they exchanged, that the individual that this shooter was with was a man transitioning into a woman. And, I mean, the guy just he's like, no, that's the right spinning it to make it seem like the left is responsible in some way, shape, or form, when in fact, I don't like the word mentally, what is it? People are like, oh, they have a mental disorder or they're mentally unstable. I don't mean to get religious, but I mean, to be honest with you, it just seems like it's demonically influenced ideals. It's like there's just level of morality. It's like the devil doesn't care. It's like, yeah, the devil's cool. Morals. I like morals. They're not done on, Jesus's authority. It's like morals are cool, but the word doesn't come from God down to Jesus, who's God's son. I don't know. It's just this level of like immorality that it seems like nobody understands. You just be a good person. You go out there and murder people because they said something. So what this individual, my coworker, had said was, at what point do you go shoot somebody? Like,
I think that's far extreme on any level, whether it's you're right or left. If you go out to shoot somebody over their opinion,
yeah. I think that's just like, I'm going to go assassinate this person because he said something that I probably most likely took out of context, and I can go shoot them. Like, it's hard to understand the thought process behind that. I mean, even if you don't believe in God, it's like at what point? It's just the fact that he said this. At what point do you take somebody out? And I'm just like, man, I don't even understand how your thought process is working right now. It's like the entire community is comparing Charlie Kirk to Hitler. Sorry.
Yeah.
Ever 100%, right? Like it's 100% of the community is not doing that, but just the fact that just some random one-off person who happens to be in the community said that seems to be the general consensus from what I've been researching, and I don't know. What's your take on that?
Well, I can tell you,
open-ended question, but
I can tell you this, man. As many clips as I've watched over the past week, and I've seen so many LGBTQ community people go to debate him, and I'm like, why would you debate him? He don't like y'all, and you won't change his mind, and he won't change your mind. So I didn't see one thing get changed. I didn't see one person say, "Oh, that makes sense," because neither one of them. It don't matter if a point was made on either side. Neither person agreed, and the people that did agree with one side, they stand firm on theirs. People agreed on the other side, they stand firm on theirs. But nobody came with a solution to.
Right, they were going to die on that high horse no matter what side they were on in the story.
So that I saw it as a pointless ass debate, and I said why even go to debate this person? He doesn't believe in what you believe in. You're wasting your time. But they keep doing it. So I don't know. Go do what you're gonna do. I don't know. I don't know what to tell. I don't know. I wouldn't know what to tell anybody to do that because I wouldn't do it. He talks about black issues, and he can't tell me about my black life. So why would I go up there and debate him about what goes on in my home?
Yeah. I mean, it's like I'm going to smack my head against the brick wall. Let's go have fun.
Pretty much. Pretty much. Hey, thank you, Donald, for calling in, man. I appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in to the Everyday PJ show, man.
Yeah, man. You stay blessed.
You too, brother.
Bye.
So there y'all have it, man. See how that goes? See how that works? Two people, two ideologies. He has his stance. I have mine. We don't have to argue and bicker about stuff. We listen. We move on. Let's get to the next video.
Who needs enemies when you have the Democratic Party on your side? This afternoon, feckless, cowardly, weak Senate Democrats voted unanimously with Republicans to give a day of remembrance to Charlie Kirk. So first, the obligatory. Should Charlie Kirk have been murdered? No. Should any American or any human being be murdered? No. On to the second point. Charlie Kirk was a horrible human being with horrible ideas. He didn't debate. He demeaned. He dehumanized. He said women, immigrants, Latinos, black people, LGBTQ, homeless, poor, anyone who was not white, male, and Christian did not have the same rights, abilities, capabilities, liberties, or freedom as those white men Christian. Wow, Democrats. Wow. So I ask you, people who are voting for Democrats and who have in the past, and who are registered as Democrats, and who carry water for the Democrats, are you done yet? Do you recognize, is it silly to say the two parties are the same? They're not the same. Are they so similar that they're always going to be selling out your rights and your liberties and your freedoms and your future and your opportunity? What more information do you need? And they're going to do it with a continuing resolution too. The Democrats are going to help Republicans pass a continuing resolution that is going to accelerate the fascism and authoritarianism. Happy yet? Or are you ready to do something else? The something else is progressives creating our own centers of power. The something else is ditching the Democratic Party. The something else is electing enough independents to Congress to deny both parties a majority. I know on October 14th, I will not be remembering Charlie Kirk. I take that back. If I happen to have to think about him, I will remember him for the horrible, awful, weak, cowardly person he was, that he thought it was right and within his right to dehumanize other human beings. It's not right. We are all human. We all have equal rights. We all have human rights. How hard is that to say? It's not. I'm going to say it again. We are all human. We all have equal rights. None of us are free until all of us are free.
He said it. Now, I want to speak on people comparing Charlie Kirk to Hitler. That is not the same. I don't know why someone would say that, because one, Charlie Kirk never hurt anyone. Okay, if he might have hurt your feelings, but feelings are emotions, and you can get over that. But he never hurt anyone. Um, if you're the only comparison, it's not even a comparison, but the only thing that is comparable to the things that Charlie Kirk said and Hitler is that Hitler wanted all white, or all, what he wanted, all white with brown hair, brown eyes. I'm not sure what Germans look like, but whatever Germans look like, that's what Hitler wanted. Now, Charlie Kirk, he doesn't say that he wants it to be all white, but he doesn't want to be erased as a white man. And that's understandable, because as a black man, I don't want my blackness to be erased, but also I don't want my history to be erased. And I feel that I can never think of that little teaching in school. Right when I'm ready to think about it, it slips my mind. But anyway, they don't want you. They don't want to teach Black history in school, and they don't want to. They kind of whitewash history. For instance, Thanksgiving was never a peaceful dinner. Do with it what you may. I'm not here to debate that or go over that. It's just is what it is. But the white history in America is deep, and we talking about. All right, I'm not finna go in on white people because this is not that type of deal. But I'm just saying it's a lot of stuff that goes on with white men, and he doesn't want that. He doesn't want that to be erased. But what I do see is that he wants all the forefathers to be known as heroes, martyrs, abolitionists. What do you call them? People that find random land already occupied by other people. But that's the America that Charlie Kirk wants to preserve. Okay? Unfortunately, and fortunately, it came with a lot on other races. Native Americans, black folks, Africans who became Americans, that type of stuff. But so we talk about, okay, preserving white history while erasing black history, while erasing Native American history. It's like none of us want to be erased from the history of America. This is all us. The only thing is, he always talks about civil rights, civil rights, civil rights. We know what civil rights was, okay? We know what it was for. Later on down the line, yes, other people benefited from civil rights because now it's not so cut and dry. When back then it was. Back then it was, hey, if I buy a piece of land, I want to keep my land. You just can't take my land because you're white type stuff. Now, civil rights could be anything. And I understand that. So, black people had to walk so the LGBTQ could run. I'm not mad at that. That is what it is. But everybody has their civil liberties. If you look at it, we deserve civil liberties. If you want to be, I ain't finna get all into that. But the thing is, that's how it happened. Everybody's trying to protect their interests. Black people in the civil rights movement, they want to protect their interests. They didn't want their house firebombed. They didn't want the police running up in their spot. They wanted to be able to educate their kids. So, hence the civil rights movement. Okay, what it's turned to today is it's an evolution of the same liberties that we were asking for back then. Because as an American, we deserve civil liberties. That's just a fact. Everybody deserves it. But what I hear from Charlie is that he's pushing a narrative that's like, we gave this to black people. We didn't give this to everybody. Everybody don't deserve the same civil liberties as we gave to black people back in the 70s. Matter of fact, black people, y'all was the same. Y'all was better back then before this happened. Y'all doing worse now. You right. You absolutely right. We are doing worse because the same DEI programs that were built for inclusion, or diversity, inclusion, and something else, white women benefited the most of it. Let's get this call in. What to do, everyday people, man? This is PJ. How can I help you? Tell us why you're mad.
Hey, TJ. No, I'm not really mad. I think the only anger I have really is that with the education process and our education system and its failures to put out people that have a thorough grasp of English and critical thinking. It's nothing to do with any individual. But where I draw that from is just kind of, it's in a lot of the preconceptions about what people hear, even though despite what other people say is completely different. And there's a lot of that going around. And how one person can hammer a message 20, 30, 40, 50 times in a row. But then one clip can be taken out of context. And then it's like all of a sudden that's going to be used as a narrative to demean and to trash a person who has been over and over again standing up against what everybody's claiming him to be. Mm-hmm. And that should be easy to prove. I mean, you would agree that, like, if there's all these recordings and all this everything, then that would be easy to prove, right?
I agree.
So then that's where my anger lies, is that there are all these recordings. There's, going back to Charlie Kirk, there's video after video after video of him being totally against racism, of saying that that race should not be a factor in any of these judgments that go on in society, and that it's appalling that it happens. Over and over again, he states it flat out. Over and over again, he promotes merit, and his entire basis is on the merit that one brings to a situation. But then he's a racist.
Well, this is where I think the disconnect is with that, and it especially comes from the clips, because
I agree.
When you take the full spectrum out of context, then you kind of don't really get the full story, and that happens a lot with social media these days, and everybody's mindset is so small. Like they can only take 15 seconds worth of knowledge before they move on to the next. So if you give them a 10-minute clip, they're not going to listen to the whole full 10 minutes. But if you give them a snippet they're going to take that as what the whole message was about. But I'm going to say, so Charlie Kirk may have said that he's not a racist.
Oh, he made arguments against racism over and over again, like without not even trying to claim himself to not be a racist. Okay. He argued against racism and used inherent racism in different systems as the basis for his argument against them. So
then that takes us to the point where he could be called a bigot from the words from the same, because a bigot and a racist is two different things.
True. He could have inherent biases, but he doesn't allow them to come into his political agenda as far as what he thinks policy should be for the nation. And I can't speak to what his personal beliefs were as far as other than what he said, what his claims were. But again, no one else can either. Because
what do you think his political stance is? Because I never heard one.
Oh, his political stance when it came to race is that it should not matter for anything. And in any situation where you force race to matter, you create systems that then legitimize racist questions, which should not happen.
And I get that. But
that was his position.
So, but then when he would turn around and say, "Oh, I hope that pilot is qualified," you're basically stereotyping that black pilot as if he hadn't taken the same qualifications.
And that was his example of a question that should not exist because the system then legitimizes it. Like if the system wasn't changed to support a form of racism, then that question would not be a legitimate question. Because he said it applied to anybody. It doesn't matter. It's just that DEI in that case, because I'm familiar with that argument, DEI in that case was supplementing black employment into different areas. And so if he even said if it was employing white people, if it was promoting the employment of white people, it would be the same thing.
Okay, so well, let's take this on a smaller scale. Let's not say a pilot. Let's say let's say your everyday waiter. It doesn't take much skill to be a waiter, right?
Well, true, and that's why it's not as critical. So people might not even think about it at all because they don't really care, unless somebody is just overly critical themselves. But everybody cares whether their pilot can get them home alive or not in the event of an emergency.
Right, but I think I also think that's a far extremism to where DEI would really help.
Well, I mean, yes, it is an extremism, but like coming from looking at the political spectrum and the decisions from the 90s to today, a lot of jokes in the early 90s that were completely ludicrous, that, oh, it'll never go that far, that's way too extreme, have become news stories as of 2012. So like saying that something isn't extreme, it's like, well, yes, but that's kind of the point. It's like, if you keep going down this road, this is where it's going to go unless you have hard stop countermeasures. And nobody's presenting any hard stop countermeasures. So if you just pass these policies without any like steel frame safeguards to prevent things from going that far, then they will go that far eventually.
Let me ask you this. Do you know who RFK is?
Yes.
What do you know his title in the government right now?
I should. I don't know exactly his what it is. What I know what it is. I don't know the phrasing.
I don't know the exact title, but he's over pharmacies.
Over pharmaceuticals, food and drug.
Do you know? Do you think he has a pharmaceutical or drug degree? Or anything relevant to it?
Anything relevant to it? So I don't actually know because I say here again, I don't believe that like a certification is the only form of thing that can qualify you. You can also have previous job experience, or you can have self-study so long as that you can adequately prove your own self-study.
RFK has never had any. He has no pharmaceutical experience.
No, I mean I agree with that, and several other directors before him from both parties also haven't had any experience.
Would he be a recipient of DEI right now?
If Trump was hiring him because he thought there were not enough white males in said positions, then that would be DEI.
So why is he in that position?
I think Trump favored his position. I don't exactly know all the details as to why Trump made that decision. I can see some legitimacy in his stances that he's been arguing for decades and decades against pharmaceuticals, and Trump might want somebody who's going to be heavy-handed against pharmaceutical industry in response to the COVID fiasco.
Well, his only stance is that he caught COVID and lost his voice.
Well, I mean, no. He also has stances against too many vaccines that we need to watch, like how compared to my younger brother, who's only 8 years younger than myself, he had close to 45 more vaccinations than I had growing up. And
Well,
while
did they help or harm your brother?
well, see, so here's the thing: is that can't be measured except for in extremes. Because again, that's like saying that did it help or harm his full potential? It's like, well, I don't know what his full potential might have been had he not. I don't know that it truly. It didn't do enough to harm him on any frame or any measurement of average.
So when they do measure pharmaceuticals and how they help people, they measure in units. Basically, 1,000 people, 1 unit, 10,000 units. That's 1,000,000 people measured, right? And if that helps, if it harms 1 unit versus the other 999,099, then overall that 1 unit, it really don't matter. RFK is trying to measure off that 1 unit versus the masses that it did help.
Well, while that is true, some of those units have grown exponentially. Some of those units so they're still small populations, but the numbers have grown exponentially. And so if the problem lies in there with their care, then there's an actual problem that's going to keep growing until it's a massive problem. And even then, if it can be stopped, then it should be stopped.
Yeah.
I'm not saying to end vaccines. I'm not saying to ban a whole bunch of stuff, but I'm just saying to look at it and say, okay, well, maybe we're using something that really is kind of dangerous in some of the vaccines, and maybe it's like a one-off thing, but it's still there, and so it hits one-off every once in a while. It's like, but we don't need to use that. We could use something that's safer, but it might cost a little bit more money. But there again, it's like
But then that goes to the point of who's they helping. And then when you talk about Big Pharma, who's they helping is Big Pharma. But then also Big Pharma also pushes most of their advertisements on networks. Who then that's where we're gonna go into a whole different.
Yeah, this is kind of already gone off at a whole different thing. But yeah,
the FCC, pushes against networks to make them fire Jimmy Kimmel because Big Pharma is threatening to pull back advertising. So that it's a bigger picture is what I'm saying.
It's a huge picture. And if they already have a quote unquote working vaccine that's quote unquote safe, they're not going to want to go through retesting to find a new base agent to use just to transfer the actual vaccine. If it's the problem of the base agent, they're not want to do all that testing just to do it, because then they'll have to do it for every vaccine that they have that agent with to make sure that the new base agent will work with each and every vaccine, which is like 14 years of testing for each vaccine. So they don't want to pay for all that. So there's a huge incentive for them to say, nope, all the vaccines are perfectly good. And I'm not saying any one of them in particular is dangerous. I'm just saying that our knowledge grows. A lot of stuff that we thought wasn't harmful turns out to be harmful. And so when there's direct evidence of that, like an escalation of people with autism, and it correlates with the amount of vaccines that people are getting, and so, well, hey, maybe in small doses, these individual vaccines are not dangerous, but if you have to take 15 of them at a time every year, maybe that's the problem.
Yeah, I obviously do see there's a problem, and I get what you're saying that he probably put him in there for pushback.
Yeah, I'm just saying that he's high status. He had, before he kind of shifted over to Trump, he still had a large Democrat following. So that was, in one way, that was Trump kind of offering up an olive branch. Some people would say whatever about it, but it's like he didn't have to go with anybody that used to be a high-profile Democrat, but he did.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like whether he did it because he just wanted the optics, or whether he did it because he truly felt that way or whatever. Either way, it doesn't matter. That's what he did. He offered, they said, oh, listen, you're a high-profile Democrat, but I kind of like some of the stuff you say. I'm going to let you work in there and do what you want to do as long as it, aligns, whatever, but we're going to try and work and get this agenda done. And it's like joint operation. But it's like as soon as anybody crosses over, it's no longer joint operation. They're just full MAGA, no matter what their position was the day before.
Yeah. No, I don't think RFK is full MAGA. I don't think that for 1 second. I don't even think he's.
Yeah, I don't think he is at all either.
Yeah, so, but it is a good. I'm just trying to figure out how he get in there, but
Yeah.
It is.
But like I was saying before with the whole race thing, it's like when you and like in a lot of positions, you know, again, like a lot of people say that Charlie was racist because he was saying that stuff about those specific black women, because there were several black women who were touting the fact that they were basically well, there wasn't DEI, it was the school. My mind just slipped because I was thinking about something else. I apologize. The program where they were basically lowering the standards to get into different schools.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how they got into college, and that's how they started their political career, was getting connections in college and moving forward from there. And it's like, okay, well, you're saying that you weren't good enough to just, you had to get into that program. You got into that program, meaning that you didn't get in just because you had the grades for it. You got in because of the program, which indicated that your grades were lower, but you were able to bump in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I mean, like, and again, it's like somebody can be thankful for that, which is fine, but I don't think anybody should be technically proud of, you know, bumping somebody off the list just because they qualified because of their skin color.
Yeah, but I mean, if you, I don't know if you will agree or not, but I just want to say, like, just based on skin color, a lot of people have been bumped just based on that. Historically, we're not talking about between the years of 1990 and now. Right. Historically, like prior to, we've been pushed. People of color have been pushed back. You know.
Yeah, and I fully respect that argument and that stance to it. But the biggest division when it comes to education opportunity is class. And you say, like, okay, well, the black community has been held back longer, so they don't have that. It's not that the white community also has that historically, because 80% of millionaires are new money. And when you look at the super rich families, they are a tiny, tiny, tiny proportion of any group. So the tiny super rich families that maintain their wealth, that's such a tiny percentage that doesn't apply to the white masses at all. And then you look at all like the new millionaires. Well, those are all like 1 and 2 generation millionaires, so that doesn't apply to the argument at all. So the only part that really applies to, again, is that tiny, tiny bit. That again, like, they don't do anything for the greater white community either.
Mm-hmm.
So like that are, you know, it's like, again, like I fully like have full sympathy on the fact of being held down. I don't think anybody should be held down. I truly hate that anybody would be held down by anything unfairly or unjustly. I truly do. But like when you say like trying to solve problems and move forward, the most important thing of solving a problem is not just looking at the symptoms, but figuring out what is causing it, what the actual problem is. And sometimes the actual problem is very surprising. But if you don't care enough to truly open up to solve the actual problem and you just want to look at the symptoms, you might never be able to solve it, or you'll create other problems in trying to solve it.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I think we are missing in this whole Charlie Kirk situation is no one is talking about solutions. We see problems. We see problems all through this whole situation on both sides.
So I have what I think is a key problem to pretty much all of politics in the United States, and I want your opinion on this. At least while I was growing up and while my brother was growing up, because I helped him with his homework, every single political spectrum model that was taught through college was deeply flawed in one way or another. And they had all these different models to say, okay, well, you know, this model is good except for this part. We acknowledge that part's completely flawed. So let's move over to this model. This model has a different part that's completely flawed. But all of the models are completely flawed, with exception to the economic model. The economic model works. So my question is, why don't we take the ideals of the economic model and apply those to the political model? Because when you do that, everything lines out and you no longer have a political contradiction on any model.
I think if you want my opinion on how, because...
Well, I think it's important because a lot of things are attributed to right or left wing that are not right or left wing. And I think that's there again, there's a lot of, like, people bond to different ideals. and they think, oh, this is an ideal that I really identify with. And then they get taught that that's a left-wing ideal or that's a right-wing ideal. And then they believe that. So they believe they are left-wing or right-wing. And they marry to that. But that ideal may not actually be on the side that they think it is because they were just taught that. Doesn't mean that it's right.
So where I think where it's flawed is because as humans are, sometimes we fall short of things, we take advantage of things, we cut corners.
All the temptations to control.
So
we cut corners to control outcomes. We take advantage of things to control what we can gain.
And I think we'll always have these issues, but you could try to band-aid them, but you can't fix them because you'll still have the human aspect in it. And I think that's why we continue to have these. Are you still there?
Oh, I'm still here. Yep.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, I think somebody else called it. But I think that's where we have those disconnects is that if people are still human and people still take advantage of stuff, and you just can't fix everything. But it doesn't. Without trying to fix it. Like, okay, for instance, Trump putting a limit on food stamps, putting a limit on if you get food stamps, you have to work a minimum of 20 hours. That is trying to break a solution because we have people who unfortunately take advantage of food stamps, whereas you have somebody who really needs it.
And of course you do, because all of human ingenuity comes basically from being lazy. And that's the fact. I want to find a way that does this hard work easier. I want to create something that makes it easier for me. And what's easier than abusing the system when people are handing stuff out, not really checking?
Right.
I mean, that's just human nature.
Man, thank you for giving me a call, man. I appreciate it. I'm going to let this next person get in. And I do appreciate it, man. You pretty much opened up a lot of eyes on this channel. And so we love the conversation.
Thank you for saying that. I just want to say one last thing. I really hope you look into, the political ideologies that are deep-rooted in the core ideologies, because it all boils down to control and freedom at the end of the day. And that's the problem, that most people align a bunch of stuff with the right wing that's not even right wing. Like on some graphs, it's top right corner, like everything else is on a line, but fascism is top right corner, right wing. But it makes no sense, because when it's practically run, it looks exactly like communism when it's practically run. So how can two opposites be exactly the same while something that's completely opposite, like the market economy, be the same as fascism? Like, that makes no sense.
I absolutely agree, man. Well, thank you again, brother, man, and you have a wonderful evening.
You too. Take care. Bless you.
All right. Bless.
Call from
Donald. Super brief comment.
Hey, what it do?
Hey, this is Donald again.
Okay, what's going on?
And I had to call back. I have a recommendation that I think it might help you reach a lot more people with just kind of a longer form conversation.
Uh-huh.
I just noticed it's kind of all over the place, and that's not on you. It's just kind of addressing what people say. It might be a really good idea to get, like, a whiteboard or chalkboard or something and have some bullet points of things. People just have so much to say. I mean, there's so many different things. Like, it may not seem like it's complicated, but there's just so much on people's minds, and there needs to be long form conversations about many of the topics.
Yeah. You're absolutely right.
It's hard to get into like a couple-minute phone call when you're trying to reach multiple people. I mean, to be honest with you, man, I wish I could have a freaking 7-hour conversation with you, like a work day, 9-hour, even a little lunch break. Get in there, just take care of the world issues.
Hey,
I mean,
I agree. I wish I had the time, but every Friday we might do this. We might do this. We might. Well, I've been trying to do this on a different level, but yeah, I definitely will do this because it's a conversation that we need to have. Everybody has a point. Anybody that has an idea or a point out, like I'm here for it. So, you know.
I'm a single dad, man. So I work my work weeks, get home, get my daughter to bed. Like the only time I have is the couple hours from when my daughter goes to bed from when I need to go to bed to take care of her tomorrow. So I'm sure there's a lot of people in the exact same situation as me.
Myself, I got mines over in the other room. So
Yeah,
yeah,
you single dad too?
yeah. So
So yeah, I bided my time to get my daughter back. The mom was leaving drugs laying around, and CPS called me, the Child Protective Services. For those of you who don't know what that is, and they're like, yeah, Mom, listen, medical's laying out, and you got a 2-year-old there. You got your daughter now. We need to come interview you. And I was like, oh hell no, emergency custody right now.
yeah.
Didn't even show up to trial. Got sole custody. That's what it's called in Oregon, sole custody, not full custody. Because, anyways.
Yeah, I've been through it, brother. Trust me.
Yeah.
We
God bless
definitely
you
can
for
talk
getting your
about
kid
that
back.
one day. Yeah, we can definitely talk about that one day.
Yeah, that's a conversation for a different time. I don't know, man. I'm just calling to put out maybe something to help you reach more viewers. Have some sort of. It's so hard to just a bullet point 1 through 10, blah 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 blah. And it's like, well, I want to talk about this.
Yeah. I got you. I'm definitely gonna have I'm gonna write my bullet points up, or I have my little chalkboard up next week. For real.
Yeah, man. Hey, you know what? You know what's gonna really help you? Copilot. I used to be like, oh, I hate AI. That's not where humans on humans. They'll fact check the entire internet for you. Pull up freaking Microsoft Copilot. Be like, boom. No, you're wrong. Look at this right here. It's all over the internet.
That's what
Anyways,
I was also thinking about that too, because I was talking to somebody about helping me fact check for these things.
dude, do it. Copilot. You're right there. You'd be like, oh, okay. Copilot. Hey,
I got
this,
it.
this, and this. Now, I've used it extensively in my job. It's extremely accurate. If you don't trust it, you can always fact check what it says, and you'll find the sources, and you're like, is this a reliable source? No. This is a reliable source. Anyways, that's my 2 cents, man.
Thank you, Donald, man. I appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, God bless, man.
All right, God bless. All right, well, they probably gonna call back, but let's. We got some good calls here, man. This is what I like to see. I want to hear different voices, man, because I know y'all be tired of hearing me talk. No, y'all don't. Y'all love it here. Y'all love it here. But let's see if they're gonna call back in a second, and then we're gonna get out of here. And I appreciate everybody who tuned in tonight. We're gonna keep it lit. I'm still a Dallas Cowboys fan, regardless of what they decide to do in their stadium or however they want to do it. Doesn't really make a difference to me. The only thing I just see the hypocrisies in certain things, and I'm gonna call it out. If I'm gonna change it, I'm gonna say something. The only change I can say is, I can give my 2 cents, but I'm not in those boardrooms. It's when you can get on those boardrooms, when you could, like, that's why people say, if you can't vote, if you can't make a difference on a large scale, get in your local government. Vote locally. That's what's gonna help you. What to do, everyday people, man? Tell us why you're mad.
Hey, sir. It's a pleasure to speak with you.
Thank you for calling in.
So, I'm just trying to understand the talking points right now, and what your directive is and what your goal is and what you want to accomplish and how we can create the dialogue first and foremost.
All right. Well, my talking points is pretty much, I hear what I hear, and I have a voice of my own. I have a mind of my own, and the way I think, and I'm just putting my thoughts out. When I watch these videos, I don't watch these videos. I see if I scan through them, and I see, oh, okay, he's a far left, or he's a far right, or he's on the right, or he's right left, or he's Democrat, Republican, or he's talking conservative, or he's talking liberal, and I watch the video. I don't watch it before we watch this video tonight. I never seen the full context of none of these videos, not now one of them.
Yeah.
So every idea that I've talked about tonight has been what I think about at that moment. Now, I read a lot, I watch a lot of TV. I know what's going on in politics. I know what's going on around my neighborhood. So I know what's going on and I can talk about it. My thing is everything I hear is a bunch of debating back and forth, who's right, who's wrong, why this person said this, why this person said that, and ain't nobody coming with solutions. And my thing is, I like to hear solutions, and I don't want to keep pushing solution. But the fact of the matter is, I'm not going to talk to you for 20 hours, and we haven't came up with nothing.
Yeah, you want to come up to an endpoint. You don't want to just talk about what ifs.
Mm-hmm. And so that's what I do when I hear stuff, and I talk about, like, if I hear something that sounds like, especially main thing is all we hear is clips, and so when I hear a clip, I was like, okay, well, yeah, this is a clip of something. There's a broader conversation out there, but I can tell you from my knowledge of what I do know about what is going on, because some people just like to reflect off anger. I'm not reflecting off anger, and if something, even if it's coming from a person who is a conservative or Republican, I don't like to be called a liberal, because just because I'm a Democrat don't mean I don't know what the hell that I'm not a damn liberal. I used to gang bang in my younger days, and I don't like to be called a gang banger, okay? Because I'm a grown ass man. I have my own morals and values, and I only align myself with the things that help me in my life. So I can understand if somebody's telling me the truth, and I can listen to it, and I'm not gonna be like, just because they're conservative, I'm like, well, I ain't gonna rebuttal it just because I'm a Democrat. I'm not gonna rebuttal if it makes sense. I'm just not gonna argue with it. I don't have an argumentative bone in my body. So if it makes sense, it makes sense. If it don't make sense to me, I might ask a question, but I'm not gonna argue with it.
The culmination, and I respect where you're coming from, and the thing is, you learn from your history, you learn from your mistakes, you're not repeating it. But to get to a solution, we keep expecting it to be mandated through politicians and everything like that, and we can't. It's got to be through the community, and there's going to be animosity because of the history of America. You can't change the history. You got to talk about it. You got to be able to have a sit down, and you can be bothered. You can have emotions about situations that happen to your family on both sides of the parties and shit like that. But if you don't actually have the proper dialogue and the mutual respect, you're never going to come just to get to that point for a conversation. And this has got to be all across the board. There's more division now than ever before because we're not willing to have that sit down, because we automatically assume the other side is never going to understand us, or, like you said, we want to be right. It's not about being right. It's about fixing the problem.
Mm-hmm. And I agree with that. I mean, I have no rebuttal to that, because that's how I feel. And sometimes when I say, if somebody agrees so much with a person or an idea, somewhere down the line they're lying. So if somebody just constantly agrees with everything conservative, somewhere down the line they're lying. You can't agree with everything.
No. No, but in that the whole purpose of the two parties originally, we're not talking about like Federalists, anti-federalists, but if you really look at the structure of the two parties, one is for the social and community aspect of the Americans, and the other one is for the private sector and the business sector of the American people. One's for economy, the other one's for the social welfare. Both of them should be coinciding to create a more functioning society for America. We shouldn't be struggling to just get middle wage income. We shouldn't be having to work 3 jobs to get an overpriced house that hasn't been updated in the last 40 years. So no, there's an imbalance on both sides. Both sides are wrong, and they've been wrong for a long time.
Absolutely, but that also brings into play, like when you say that, like paying for an overpriced house for 40 years, that's not something that government can fix, because the fix has been in. Once, all right, so put it like this. Inflation. We know inflation is bound to happen. But when inflation starts to hit places where you're least expecting, then you're understanding that, okay, man, now it's getting out of hand. But you know where inflation never hits? Your employer. Your employer never wants to inflate the amount of money that you make. So then that's where you see people that man. This is where we need the bullet points, because I could be talking about so many different things at one time.
I get where you're getting from, and there's too many incentives. Talking about employers, there's too many incentives to outsource expensive labor. Most employers do not want American workers because it's too cost expensive. They're using more money than they have to. After the North American Free Trade Agreement back in Clinton's era, that's why a lot of our businesses are outside of the country, because they get tax breaks and don't have to worry about overhead costs. There's no incentive of paying American their fair share.
Well, there is some incentive on paying America their fair share, but the fact of the matter is, you have to create employment. Once that, and then that's why people like Jeff Bezos pays no taxes. But if Jeff Bezos pays no taxes, who does that help or hurt the average American?
Oh, it's gonna hurt them, but somebody's got to foot the bill anyway, and that's usually middle class income. That's why there's such a gap between the 1% and then the rest of everybody. It's either you're broke or you're not.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of ways we can touch on that, and I don't think there's. But see, that's what we're talking about when we talk about solutions. There's not one direct solution to
the real solution. Truthfully, is that we have to restart the whole system. Depending on massive businesses, we're going to have to pay more for local businesses and start rebuilding our infrastructure like that. People got to stop doing some of the hustles and grinds. Where are you getting your food? Where are you getting your clothes? Where are you getting your day-to-day necessities and things like that? Most of it's gotten so outsourced that we went with the cheap route. Now it's finally biting us in the ass. We have to go back to square one and start building our own stuff and start making our own stuff again. And that's revamping the entire internal industry infrastructure in America.
That's a lot of work, but I get it. But the way people, where their income is set up, it seems as if the more, put it like this, when the grocery delivery became really popular during COVID.
Yeah.
Now it's a way of life. Is it cheaper to drive to the grocery store, walk through the line, spend 2 hours in the grocery store, and pay for your grocery, where you have to sack your own groceries now and do all this, or just order it and come to your house?
I agree with how they're setting it up, but if we keep picking the easier route, the end result is we're going to suffer more. So we keep going for the short-term gains. We're forgetting about the long-term suffering, and that's all across America.
So eventually we will suffer for using the was it Kroger delivery versus
Kroger,
going
Uber, all that shit.
versus
Because
going.
now we're outsourcing more people from, like, I'm down in Florida, down in Publix, Walgreens, Walmart, whatever the hell. We're outsourcing them because you could just call some guy, gets in his car, does all that stuff. Then why do you need a cashier? Walmart doesn't have to pay that cashier a 401k now because they just got replaced by some guy in a car.
Yeah.
So the short-term gratification and complacency has long-term sufferings for the people surrounding the area. But again, we're creating a society of me, mine. We're not thinking about the repercussions, how it affects other people.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're all trying to survive. When you got everybody in a survival mentality, they're not thinking about repercussions of their actions on other people.
Absolutely. Well, you're right. I mean, it's a long-term game, and I guess we're going in about 2035 we'll kind of see where this is all going.
Yeah. Listen, brother, it's an absolute pleasure. I appreciate you taking my call. I won't take up any more of your time. I hope the live stream goes well. It was a pleasure exchanging ideas and thoughts.
Thank you, man. Thank you for calling in. Continue to tune in, brother.
Appreciate it. Be safe, be well.
All right, you too. All right, well, that I'm gonna just take that as the last call, and man, I'm gonna turn in because I gotta go cook some turkey legs in about 3 hours, so I need to get about 3 hours of sleep. And thank you all for tuning in, man. This was a wonderful call in. This is a wonderful call in, and I do want to thank you all. Man, these last few days have been interesting. So regardless of whatever political affiliation you have, we can all have a conversation, and we will continue tomorrow with some more nonsense that I've pulled off the internet. And we're gonna get deeper into politics. As time goes on, we'll get deeper into politics. Okay, trust me, we're gonna get we're going all for it. But we're gonna do this for the betterment of America. We're not finna. I mean, I don't know. Maybe y'all could debate with each other in the comment section. But other than that, we're gonna keep it lit every day. PJ, holla at you later. Peace.